The Jake Asman Show will begin shortly. Thanks to all these great Patreon members who help support the show. Get your SuperChats ready. Jake will be here in just a moment. If you love the New York Jets, this is the place to be. And now, the Jake Asman Show.
It's a football Friday. The Jets and the Browns on Sunday, and it's clear the Jets have a new plan going forward. Fireman Ed will check in. It's the Jake Asman Show. Let's hit it and get it started.
Oh my
Lord.
Sauce tweeted New York, it's been real. They just signed him to an extension. What?
A new chapter for the Jets has started. Aaron Glenn and Darren Muji are tasked with shaping the future of this franchise. Will they be the ones to finally get it right? We will be here for every step of the journey on the Jake Asman Show, breaking down all the storylines, every game, and everything in between. Please subscribe and hit the like button below. Super Chats, baby. Cut the line. The Jake Asman Show starts right now.
Here we go. Here on a Friday, we're presented by FanDuel Sportsbook. If you bet on last night's Thursday night football game, hopefully you took the points like we said at the end of the show. Felt like I was watching a Jet game between the Raiders and the Broncos yesterday. Denver, on a side note, might be the worst 8-2 football team I've seen. But hey, good for them. They keep winning. Must be nice. Let's say hello to our guy in his weekly Friday spot, Fireman Ed, who joins us now. Ed, one of the craziest weeks in the history of this franchise, and now we got a game on Sunday, baby, against the Cleveland Browns.
Yeah, it just keeps going on and on. I mean, it's unbelievable.
What was your reaction when Sauce trade happens and then an hour later Quinnen gets traded? What's going through your mind?
Well, your phone goes off the rails, right? So I knew something was up. Listen, I wanted the four quarters stay together. I always told you that. But with that being said, when it comes to trades, this is really my philosophy, and I believe that it's probably across the board in the NFL. Depending on what your record is, obviously, and we're 1-7. So in Muji's eyes, we can be 1-7 with you, or we could be 1-7 without you. And it all comes down to you. What kind of fair compensation am I getting for that player? And Sauce to get 2 1s and hopefully a very good wide receiver that hasn't had a chance. I don't think it's a no-brainer, right? You got to make that move. As far as Quinnen, I love Quinnen Williams. All right, but you got to give a lot of respect to the Muji, his whole personnel. Everybody shut their mouth, and that was in the works, right? And also Quinnen, you got to give Quinnen a lot of respect. He didn't say anything, but he wanted to get out of there. It was 3 different times he asked for a trade, so we didn't know it. And of course, if you do know it, then the price tag is going to be less, right? Because everybody knows he wants to get out, so you're not going to get the fair value for the man. Instead, you wind up getting a 2, a 1, and you get Maisie Smith, right? So you see where great compensation. You can't deny that. For both players, staples of our team, I felt. But in this new regime's eyes, we're 1-7. We could be 1-7 without you. So in my mind, when it comes to football, any player is. You can get rid of any player, especially for 2 number 1s, and especially if you're 1-7. So that's really what it comes down to. And it's a new regime, and I was glad that Brees stayed, and I'm glad Jermaine is still here. What they're doing with Quincy Williams is a whole other ball game, but we'll get into that.
It's just wild that we got to this point where, if you think about it, we're kind of back in that 2020 zone where they were tearing it down, getting all these picks, and they hit on most of their picks that they acquired in all those deals. But they missed on Zach Wilson, and that set them back, and we're still paying for that. And here we are at 1-7. This team is not a 1-7 roster, but when you play this bad, you got to extract the value they got. So I agree with what they did. It's just a damn shame we're here in the first place because Quinnen Williams, I saw this stat in a story that Rich Cimini wrote on ESPN.com today. Quinnen Williams is the worst record of any Jet player ever who's played that many games. And it's a damn shame because he's a hell of a football player and got nothing to show for it.
And a great man, great individual, great personality. Build your team around him. Character, total character. I mean, what the Cowboys are getting with Quinnen, they're going to find out. He's all about the team and doing the right thing, and just the way he is on and off the field, and what a personality is. So, he was a big loss. I liked Sauce. I like both of them. I have nothing bad to say about either player. I am glad that we got the compensation we got for it, because otherwise we'd be completely out of our minds. But once again, it's bigger than that, right? It goes back. It just keeps going back, And when Joe Douglas came here with Salah, and they had the number 2 pick, and this is not Monday morning quarterback for me. I did not want them to get rid of Sam Darnold. I thought that we should have packaged that number 2 and, got more picks and built around Sam Darnold. And I said it at the time. I'm sure it's out there somewhere. I wanted Sam Darnold. I thought Sam Darnold was a good quarterback. He wasn't being coached up right. He didn't have the personnel around him. He was getting beaten up. And I felt they should have built around Sam. But I didn't know anything about Zach Wilson. I knew nothing about Zach Wilson. My brother lived out in Utah at the time when he God rest his soul. He's alive. He's telling me about Zach Wilson. I said, who's Zach Wilson? So I wasn't sold on that. But of course, you just listen because you're not an expert. You listen and you see what happens. But it goes back. It goes back, and this is where we're at. This is where we're at, and it starts at the top, and it works itself down. So this is what we're at, and we're fans. We love them, and you got to believe in something. You got to have faith in something. Muji, I like the moves that he's made. Aaron Glenn, I'm giving him the benefit of the doubt because he's a Jet, and I loved him as a player, but I could shake my head at quite a few things that's going on with Aaron. All right. So, when we have 9 games left, I said this to you our last time we talked. I got the right to watch the whole season before I start going, crazy with it. So
9 games to go, including one on Sunday, which we will get into. Before we do that, though, it's a Football Friday. We always up the giveaways on a Football Friday, get Jet fans excited. Jermaine Johnson, thank God he was not traded. So let's give away a signed Jermaine Johnson jersey at the end of today's program. So gift away to enter, or send in a $10 super chat or higher if you're watching on your phone and you want to qualify. That will get you 2 raffle tickets. If you don't win this week's 3 weekly prizes in our Tuesday raffle, a signed Darrelle Revis football, a signed Joe Klecko Hall of Fame inscription helmet, and I just added this yesterday, a signed Wayne Corbett football that says Mr. Third Down the inscription. So we got 3 great prizes for 3 all-time Jets, plus a signed jersey of arguably the best player on the defense now, Jermaine Johnson. That's up for grabs at the end of the show. Before we talk more about the deadline and the future going forward, and I got something I want to play. Pat McAfee yesterday talking about Fireman Ed.
Jets are actually going all in on the future. So the future should be bright. Now, the future's not right now, okay? We got 9 more weeks.
Right. And you know what?
This thing is going to happen.
You know what I did see as well is they traded, kind of a bunch of like stalwarts franchise players and then hit them immediately after with, boom, we're raising ticket prices next year.
No.
Yeah, they did.
No, they didn't.
They wouldn't do that.
Is that why J-E-T-S, Jets. J-E-T-S. Is that why Fireman Ed's pissed?
Probably.
Ron, do we have a health and wellness check?
Is he pissed?
On Fireman Ed?
Oh, he's got to be.
He's got to be so upset, dude.
I think he's pretty pumped to retire for the 4th time.
What?
He might be on another golf trip.
Fireman Ed ran towards fires, not away from him. He's allowed to go golf whenever the hell he did.
And he left early to get there in time.
What are you talking about?
His golf trip.
Well, it's the boys. You want him to show up the boys?
That's what I'm saying. He said I left the golf trip early.
That's a big deal.
Yeah.
Yes, it certainly is.
Probably,
the end of it, too?
Probably a sweet golf trip.
Oh, my God. Imagine how many times
Every tee box. Yeah.
Every time.
Yeah, before every shot he
We're
hits.
at the halfway house. Do it again, Ed.
Run it.
Yeah.
They walk into the halfway house. There's like a little snack in there. 2 people accidentally in there at the same time. You want to see it? Yeah, you do. Hey, Ed, we love you, man. Sorry you've been battling so
That's
publicly.
a good bit.
That is a good bit. We got a lot of good stuff going there.
Oh, man, I'll tell you what, Ed.
I love
Pat's Fireman Ed impression's pretty good. We got to get him at a game
yeah.
so you guys can lead the chat together.
Oh yeah, yeah. Pat is. Listen, I've been on his show 2-3 times. Pat's a great guy. Love Pat. You know, he is what he is. He's phenomenal. He's the best. And you know, he appreciates. Pat said to me, "I appreciate people that have stood the test of time." He goes, and you're one of them that has. So you know, it's an honor, and he treats me well. I know one of his family members is a firefighter. So he has a lot of respect for the firemen, and love that. Boston Connor, that's his shtick. You know, I've had it out with Boston over, you know, me quitting and him telling me he was disappointed. And at that time, he was 15. So I said, what'd you know at 15? You knew something at 15? Come on. So Boston's got a shtick. It's okay. Yeah, those guys are good. You know, they must have found out I was in Pinehurst in North Carolina for the.
Well, they referenced my tweet because when we saw each other at the Carolina game, I tweeted the picture of us and I go, Fireman Ed flew in this morning, left his golf trip to be at the game, and that tweet blew up. So that's how they knew that.
Oh, I didn't know that. Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, I did. I didn't even realize you did that. So, yeah, I was wondering how they, you know, knew. And, you know, I had a great time at Pinehurst. That's all my guys out there. From North Carolina, the Thomas family, wonderful, great Jet fans, tremendous, loves our Jets, all of them, the father, the 3 brothers, the sister, everybody, the kids. So it was awesome, and you know, I came back for the Carolina game, so they must have referenced that. It was pretty cool.
Cowboys question super chats. We'll cut the line. We're doing a Jermaine Johnson signed jersey as the giveaway. JT, shout out to you, Jay. You're the first to enter today. You got a raffle ticket for gifting one. And our guy, Paulie Dog Jets, that's Paul Taxter in the house. He just gave himself 5 channel memberships because he gifted 5 memberships. Let's go. Let's talk about Glenn now.
You know what? Jermaine Johnson should be our next captain, by the way.
Agreed. Completely agree. Let's talk about Aaron Glenn because now clearly Woody Johnson is a believer in Glenn and he's going nowhere. Ed, I really think the Jets could lose every game the rest of the way. And after these trades here, he's not going anywhere. He's going to get the opportunity now to get his quarterback this offseason, make these picks coming up. And I'm not even convinced they could be bad again in 2026, 4 wins or whatever. And they wouldn't get a year 3 because they'll sell Woody on the 3 first they now have in 27. Your thoughts on the commitment that ownership is clearly making to this regime following these moves on Tuesday?
Yeah, I think I don't think there's any question about it that the regime. I didn't think the regime was going anywhere either. I mean, I think the only way you would have seen that is if he didn't win a game, one game. I think just by him winning the one game alone is going to give him, you know, enough to. And now, listen, you see they're going to bring their guys in. That's what they're doing. They're bringing their guys in, and that's what they're selling to the owner, saying it's not our guys. We got to bring our guys in, and that's what he's going to do. Now we're going to see. We're going to see if Aaron can coach. I do believe that they're playing for him, but I also think that there's a lot of chaos in that locker room. Not with everyone, but obviously, you know, Quincy Williams. You know, did you hear Bart Scott talk about what he would do if that was his situation with Chris Collin? I just listened to that. Bart said, they demoted me at practice. Everybody's going good night. I'm hitting everybody. I'm taking out, he goes, and the one thing that they know in that locker room, the guy that's ahead of me and ain't better than me, everybody knows that he ain't better than me. So that's a whole nother that's a whole nother problem because you got to deal with that. That's all got to be dealt with. So that's all in-house stuff, and you know they'll figure it out. But
I don't know why he wasn't traded, Ed. I mean, if you were just going to bench him, I don't care what you could get for him, if it's a fifth or a sixth. Just trade him and get something from him because he's not coming back and he's not going to get a big enough contract where you're going to get a real comp pick anyway.
Yes. And they're benching the wrong guy because Jermaine Sherwood played way worse than Quincy Williams ever did. Quincy Williams is not your problem. Quincy's not the problem. Quincy gives total effort. I believe that if there's anything that they're questioning about Quincy, it's probably their scheme and him trying to figure out the scheme that they exactly want to run. Okay, because Quincy's balls to the wall. I mean, I don't see that when I see that on tape. I don't see Quincy. He may be out of place in spots because of the scheme, but as far as his effort, no. Where you could say that about Jermaine Sherwood, the effort. You could look at it was. I mean, he's playing better as of late. I'm talking about when the season started. So there's a lot going on. I mean, he's got his guys. You see what he's doing. He's tinkering with all the defense. It's basically the offense he's leaving alone. He's leaving the offense alone. It's the defense that he's going crazy with. Personnel, trading, He's a defensive coach. That's what he's doing. So
let's see them now keep Brees if you didn't trade him, right? Because I think it was the right move to not trade him for the reported 4th-round pick Kansas City offered. Now, the Jets denied that, but it's out there from, several people who cover the NFL. But if you don't take that deal, you now need to make sure he's on your team next year because if you lose him for nothing, that's a bad job by the Jets not getting something for a guy who's not here next year.
Well, they'll get a compensatory pick.
Maybe not if they spend a lot in free agency, though. They have so much money to spend, it's going to cancel itself out.
Yeah, we'll see where that goes.
And you can use that pick, even if they get something to get, it'd be probably a 5th in 2027.
Yeah.
So I'd rather get a 4th in 2026 instead of waiting another year before I could even use that comp pick.
Well, I would agree with that, but you know what? That's yet to be seen. I think they're going to sign Brees. Honestly,
I hope so.
I think they are. I think you're going to see that happen. I think Brees is going to be a part of the our future, in my opinion. So. We'll see. I don't think it's going to happen overnight, depending on, because they hold all the cards. They can franchise them if they want to. Franchise tag them. So we'll see. I don't know what's going to happen with that, but I do believe overall, I think he's going to be part of the solution. I do. He's a big piece on that offense. It was obvious last game. So, you got to just hope that he doesn't get hurt. That position is brutal. Oh, we'll see. But there's a lot of chaos going on there. A lot of transactions going on. 1-7, and everything's on the table at this point. You're 1-7. Everything's on the table. I mean, you got rid of probably your 2 best defensive players, arguably 2 best defensive players. So everybody's on the table. It's the way it is. We're 1-7, bro. It's what it is. Oh, I don't know. The one thing I don't understand is Aaron just fighting with the media. I don't get that. I can't for the life of me understand what he's doing. He's trying to be like Bill Parcells. He doesn't have the credentials. He doesn't have the he don't have the stripes to be fighting with the media like this. It's going to come back and kick him in the ass eventually. Because these guys are going to get confrontational. Like he's getting confrontational. What are they going to do? They're going to get confrontational eventually, right? I mean, they got a job to do.
Well, it's already started. I mean, he completely backtracked on what he claims he didn't actually say on September 2nd. I mean, let's go back to the question he's asked, Ed, on what would define a successful 2025 season.
What would define a successful season? I want to be a team to where the fans will look up and say, we're proud of that team. And if they say that, I'll be happy. I'll be happy because within that, I know that wins will come.
And then you have this the other day.
What do you say to the fans who were, frustrated by a 1-7 record? They just saw their ticket prices go up and they just saw 2 of their favorite players get traded away. What do you say?
Nothing different than I've been saying. Listen, I want this to be a team that the fans are proud of. But again, I never said that we're going to be proud of them right now.
You just got to laugh. Like, it's hilarious.
That's a killer. That is.
He's
When
gonna
I
laugh.
see-
Like it's
when
like
I
we're all
see
rooting for him.
that,
He's gonna
I
be
went,
here, but like, come on.
When I seen that, I went, "Oh boy, you can't say that." I'll be proud of right now. I didn't say right now. Oh my God. Listen, he's on a job. He's learning. Like I said, I want to give him some time. So we'll see. I mean, this is all growing pains for him. And he's got to go through it, And in the meantime, he's going to try to get his guys in here. And we'll see where this goes. We'll see where it goes. Jake, you got to have faith in something. So, unfortunately for us, we have 14 years of no playoffs. So the pressure is really like we're beside ourselves. So we have a different mindset. So anybody that's in here is going to you're going to be short. You're going to have a short fuse with guys because of what's
yes and no, though, Ed. I definitely see your point. I think he doesn't do himself, though, any favors with what his messaging was from the very beginning, denying it's a rebuild, saying they're going to win now, taking shots at the previous coaching staff. Remember the big Will McDonald presser in training camp? It's coaching, man. It's coaching. And then he's ripping Salah's staff for all the penalties last year. And it's just, he doesn't make it harder, man. Like how he treated, whether you agreed or disagreed with the Rodgers move, like how Rodgers described their interaction. Now that we see how Aaron Glenn is with everyone else, I 100% agree Rodgers was accurate with everything that he describes. And like, that's not a good look either. So I just think he's not making it easier on himself. Yes, there's the playoff drought that he's inheriting that he's not responsible for, but I think his comments and the latest example, not naming a freaking quarterback against the 2-6 Browns when Justin Fields is obviously starting Sunday. I just think it's silly. He's hurting. He's not giving himself, any like benefits that you would get for being a former Jet and being a first-time coach because he's erasing all that with how he acts to the media, which is a conduit to us as Jet fans.
You know what? I couldn't agree with you more. What you just said, I couldn't agree with you more. So, we're in a position here where, we're watching him do things that he doesn't have. Once again, he doesn't have the stripes to be able to do that. Just get along with the media. What are you fighting with everybody for? You can't have that attitude, man. You didn't win anything. So, when I'm watching and I'm listening to him, I'm like, come on, man. When are you going to ease up the pedal? Ease up the pedal because it's only going to come back to burn you, which you did this week by him retracting on, well, I didn't say right now. I mean, that was like, when I got done looking at that, I went like this. What? So, we're going to see. We're going to see how this all pans out. The one thing that I do like is I like our GM. I think our GM's got balls. A lot of balls.
I think he did a great job this week.
He's got balls. He's got balls.
And Muji's done a good job with the in-season trades.
Yes, he did.
They didn't give up anything to get 3 good football players, including Brownlee, who looks like a really good player.
Yeah, and listen, we're going to see what Michi and Mitchell are on the receiving end, and the kid from Dallas, the defensive tackle. He already picked up a defensive tackle from Cleveland that we like, Briggs, in a limited role. You might see him playing a lot more this week, right? I like Harrison Phillips overall. I just like his leadership. I like what he has to say. We'll see. This is all we're seeing what we got here, and the big things. I just wish Aaron would just ease up and just let it pan out, man. What are you fighting with everybody for? He's got the attitude from back in 94, I think, 97, 98, unfinished business. I
just
wish
name a quarterback, man. You don't need to play that game when you're 1-7,
come on,
a 2-6 team. And Fields played great. You could pump him up and be like, well, of course we're starting Justin. We want to build on an awesome performance. That's all you say.
Yeah, man. And he's making enemies in that room, the press room. He's making enemies.
Right.
Because guys get pissed off. They got a job doing. He's embarrassing guys because the way he's responding to their questions, he makes them look, like, what are you asking for? Like,
And look, if he wins, nobody cares. But when you lose,
Correct.
this gets used against you, and you don't like his leash will be shorter if he struggles again next year. The media that's not hammering him now because they know he's not going anywhere, and they need to have a working relationship with the guy. Like I'm talking about the guys on the beat, they're not going to call for his job yet because they know he's coming back next year. So they're not gonna do that and burn any chance they have of building a relationship next year when it becomes obvious that he's doing such a bad job and he's done. I saw this with Gase. No one called for Gase's job after year one because he was great with the media behind the scenes. He would help them with their stories, all that. Once it became obvious he was gone because of how bad the 2020 Jets were, then they started saying, all right, he's going to get fired. It's time for him to go. But it's going to be a short leash for Glenn if they get like the Lions after the awful year where everyone's like, 3-13-1, give it time. Well, they started 1-6 the following year. If the Jets start 1-6 in 2026, I don't know if Woody Johnson is going to be as patient as the Ford family. He might fire Aaron Glenn after a 1-6 start next year.
Well, with his track record, especially lately, I could 1,000,000% see that. First off, Woody needs to let his brother. I said this last week. I'll say it again. Let his brother take over the reins and talk and everything else, because there's a difference between the two brothers. All right. And, age is one thing, but it's time, I think, for him to let Chris take over, because you're not selling the team. So at least show some face when you're talking, and that we, can speak, which is crazy. But you know what? Listen, he's setting himself up, Muji, with all these picks. And, it'll be interesting to see, what transpires here. They're obviously going to get another quarterback. I mean, Justin Fields is obviously playing for his career right now. The next 9 games, that's obvious. And we'll see where that goes and what transpires. But you fully expect them to have either a rookie in here. I mean, I would think they're probably going to draft a quarterback.
They better.
High, so they have the resources to do it, and we'll see how the season stacks, where we're going to be in that draft order. And we'll go from there. But they did set themselves up where a week ago we were going, what's going to happen here? Well, you've seen what's going to happen. They're loaded. They're loaded up. What they do with it, that's a whole nother story. We're going to find that out. But I can't start going about – the one thing I can't take, Jake, is talking about the past, and we've never done this. We can't teach a quarterback. We kill all of them. Listen, this is a new regime. Let's see what happens.
That's all we can do. That's it. They're going to get their chance.
You got to believe in something. You got to have faith in something.
Well, what they did on Tuesday, Ed, they acquired hope.
Give up your fandom. Give it up.
Yeah. No, they traded for hopium. That's what they did. They traded for hope with these moves.
Well, they did. And, we'll see where it goes. I mean, they are loaded. And, the salary cap, Jesus Christ. I just seen, I think at the latest I thought was like 117 million they're at for next year. Did you see that?
They have a title. I don't think it's that high. At 2027, it's even more than that, though.
Somebody said 117. I went 117.
It could be, but that doesn't factor in some of the, the 5th-year option numbers.
Yeah.
They extend some guys, also the rookie class for next year. If they have a top
Jake,
pick,
if you're at 80 and 90, that's a lot of money.
They have a tremendous amount of resources. Yes,
salary cap's going up because
they have all the resources. It's just a matter of, do they pick the quarterback correct? Like we've seen this. Joe Douglas did a lot of good. He hit on a lot of picks. They had a talented roster. Saleh got the most out of a lot of players, especially on defense. They didn't win because they never got the quarterback situation figured out. The Zach Wilson pick ruined everything.
The magical question: are we going to get the quarterback right? We've been waiting forever. That's the reason that's why we're the New York Football Jets.
Yep.
And we haven't gotten the quarterback situation right in a long, long time. That I'm talking about a long-term guy. We just haven't. I thought Sanchez could be a real good quarterback, and then they just started killing the offensive line and bringing Tim Tebow in here, and a disaster that was. They signed the wrong wide receiver. They should have signed Braylon. They signed Santonio Holmes. I mean, Brandon Moore punches him in the face. You don't find that out until years later. I mean, there's so many things.
The worst move ever. This is when the downfall started, and I've said this to Tannenbaum. He didn't necessarily disagree with me because he knows I'm right. When Tannenbaum got rid of Jericho Cotchery for Derek Mason, that's where this all started. That's what led to the nightmare 2011 collapse with Santonio Holmes and Sanchez. Yeah,
Plaxico Burris. I mean, for sure. He started. He tinkered with that. He thought he became brilliant all of a sudden. They went to 2 championship games. He could do no wrong. That's where Mike and Rex went downhill from that point on. They just did. You could look at all of the moves after the championship game, the second one, and it just went downhill from that point on. Right? I mean, they both lost their jobs. So
that was the start.
Then you get Idzik in here.
Ugh. Idzik 12.
Jesus Christ! I mean, it just goes on and on and on. I love the one guy, Tyson Roush. I love Tyson. He always has the hamster wheel, and we're on a hamster wheel. It's just the truth. Like, it just, can we get off the hamster wheel? You know, it never ends. You know, so we'll see where it goes, brother. You know, I hated losing Quinnen and Sauce, but at least we got very good compensation for both of them. So that's the bright spot on all of it. But you know, we'll see. We'll see what they do with these picks. That's what it's going to come down to, right? Meantime, we're going to get rained on Sunday. Not only are we playing the Browns, but now we're going to get rain. I mean, it's just it's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. I just sit there and go, what the you know?
Bring your Gustbuster umbrella, Ed. You're going to need it.
Yeah. You ain't lying. So.
Well, appreciate you hopping on. Shout out to
Thanks
shout out to you. You got it. And look, let's get a win Sunday. Let's see how they respond. You know, we know the Jets' record after bye weeks is an abomination.
Yes.
So if they look good and play well, that's a nice little you know, benchmark for Aaron Glenn to point to that things are maybe going to improve under him.
I'd like to see the Justin Fields play the way he played in Cincinnati, and let the kid throw the ball. Let him loose a little bit. And now you got Garrett back, and let's see. You know what I do like, and I don't want to say too much. Garrett, the offensive line is. I hate to, I don't want to say anything. They're all together. Let's put it this way. They're all together.
We know what you mean.
So, you know, let's hope that stays. And there'll be nobody at the game. I mean, there'll be nobody there. We're lucky to get 40,000 diehards there Sunday. I don't think so. Not this time.
Nope.
Especially after losing these other 2 guys, trading them, and
bad weather, 2 bad teams. Yeah, no way.
Yeah. Well, there'll be no. You ain't got to worry about a line for a beer. Anyway, all right.
Enjoy, brother. Ed. Enjoy.
All the best. All right, be well. Go,
ladies and
Jet.
gentlemen, Fireman Ed, it is weekly spot. Love it. Hit the like button if you guys are tuning in. Comments, questions, super chats. We'll get to plenty of your calls. Jermaine Johnson signed jersey is the giveaway today. Make sure you gift a membership to the community so we all win. If you want to be entered, or send in a super chat if you're watching on the phone or iPad. Mike D's nuts in the house. He's in the raffle for 5. Mike, hope you're doing well, my friend. He says, shout out to Fireman Ed, who I met at a Jamal signing. Jake, I need that jersey for my son. Let's effing go Jets. Mike D's nuts. He is in the Asmaniac raffle for 5.
I hug him every day.
Ed brought up Garrett Wilson, who will be back. I think a lot of us were interested to hear from Garrett following these trades. He spoke with the media yesterday. Here is Garrett talking about no longer being teammates with his co-rookie of the year, Sauce Gardner.
It's been a while. Yeah. How you feel? Feel good, man. Got back out there the last couple of days. Feel pretty good.
So, go?
Yeah. That's the plan, man.
What has this last month just kind of been like for you? Just trying to rehab and try to get back to as well.
Yeah, it's been tough. It's been long. Honestly, it must have been 3 weeks. Yeah, man. I never really got to watch the game from this point of view that I've been able to sit back and see it from these last couple of weeks. And yeah, man. Honestly, I feel like it was enlightening for me just to see it from a different point of view and take that time to get my knee back. And now I feel great. Not to mention, I'm just super pumped to be back out there and with my teammates. You know?
What was your thoughts? Just kind of the last game against the Bengals.
Yeah, man.
Also Justin and his performance and everything. He kind of
yeah. I mean, I got to watch it at the house and it was fun to watch, man. I felt like watching them overcome, you know, just what they went through early in the game. You know, I feel like the offense was rolling, and for me, that's all I really wanted to see. Just offense rolling, operating, and they were. And Jay Fields back in the home state, not a home state, but Ohio doing what he loves, man. So, honestly, I kind of expected them to ball out like they did. I can't lie. I thought it was all going to come together that week, and it did. It's cool to see.
Garrett, what was your reaction to Sauce and Quinnen being traded?
Yeah. Yeah, man. I mean, I was shocked, man. I was shocked, and obviously, just kind of a reminder of the business that we're in, and for me, and kind of just I would say that, just a reminder of this game, and not taking the times you get to play with your boys for granted. But yeah, man, I make sure I talk to them boys, send them a text, nothing too crazy, and I'm excited to see what they finish the season out like.
Was it? I mean, you and Sauce literally became Jets like within a couple of hours of each other. So what was it like? You've always been kind of connected.
Yeah, I mean, it's something I'm still getting used to, man. So. Yeah, I mean, I don't know being in this facility without Sauce around until these last couple of days, right? And it's going to be an adjustment for me, and I'm sure he going through his up in Indy, down in Indy, and like I said, man, it's a game of change, a game of just expect the change. That's one thing I'll say. I'll say that.
Did it make you wonder about your security too? Because you guys also signed the extension at the same time too.
Yeah, I mean, I think I don't never worry about or think about security. I know what it is when it comes to this league. None of us have, you know what I'm saying? You got the security, but like the reality of this game, and when days like that come, it just reminds you, go out and prove yourself every day on this field. Go out and I'll say that. It puts the emphasis on why we do what we do and go about things so hard, because, the reality of it is in this game, no one see nobody as yeah.
Did it cross your mind that might happen before the deadline, that you could potentially be done?
That I could? I mean, like I said, I go wake up in the morning. If my name ain't in the news, cool. If it is, we're gonna figure it out. But it wasn't more of like, oh, I'm thinking about it. It's more of just don't think about anything. Go to work. I was worrying about my knee, right? Trying to get back healthy so I could be here today and practice out with my dogs. And I truly believe that, like, you train, you approach every day because you're replaceable as hell, and that's just the way I see it.
What are your thoughts on A.D. Mitchell?
A.D. Mitchell, oh, he's a dog, bro. I've been watching bro since he was at Georgia. And then obviously these past couple years at Texas, I got to watch him. We played against him on the Colts last year. So, we got a lot of mutuals. I'm getting to know him, and he's a great dude, and had a hell of a day at practice today. And yeah, man, we all getting to know each other. It's cool, man. I'm excited to have some of these new guys in the room, man.
What do you think he specifically can help them?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think I know he can. He's a big body, first of all, man. He can go up and get the ball, make it hard to tackle. But then you watch him move, and you're like, oh, he don't move like how his size. He's very in control of his body, great body control, and someone that just, when the ball's up in the air, like I feel like, I don't want to say this. No, I'm gonna not say that. But we're gonna use that boy, and I'm excited to see what he does, man, because he's got it all for real.
Garrett, now that two of the best players on the team have been traded away, how do you feel about the direction of the franchise? Are you on board with what they're trying to do?
Yeah. I mean, yeah, bro. It's I gotta do my job. You know what I'm saying? I get paid to catch passes, block, help my teammates out, make plays. You know what I'm saying? They get paid to do that. No one cares what I do. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna go play football, and I'm excited, man. I'm excited to go at this thing and chase what they have a vision. Like I said, I don't get paid to have the vision. They do, and they got one, and I gotta trust them, man. I do.
But
I love Garrett, man. That guy is the best. We're lucky that he's a Jet. And he should be untouchable. That was a smart thing that the Jets clearly outlined the team's calling, saying we're not trading him. You need a number one receiver, and you need one who's not a diva and is high character. That's rare. So I love that, man. And I'm excited for him to be back. I mean, he's probably the most watchable part of this team, either him or Brees, right? And let's see what A.D. Mitchell could do, because if they found something in him, that'd be huge. You don't need as many weapons this offseason because you found something in A.D. Mitchell that helps you be able to use other premium picks towards rebuilding the defense, getting a safety, linebacker, defensive tackle, another tight end, right? Like, they need a receiver 2. You have a receiver 1. You have a tight end 1. Like, if A.D. Mitchell could be something, that's awesome. But, I mean, Garrett's a pro. That's why you pay him. That's why he's got the C on his chest, and that's why I think after what Jermaine Johnson has said this week and him not being traded, I think he's a guy that should also be a captain going forward. Super Chats cut the line. Sean checks in. Thank goodness for the show. Thank you, Jake, for being the voice of reason for this fan base. Sean, thanks for watching, man. I appreciate it. Whether we agree or disagree, we all want the same thing. We all just want this team to not be a joke. We just want to win. C says, I've seen enough. Retire Garrett's jersey already. He better play his entire career with the Jets, man. I mean, I hope Garrett is on the Mike Evans path. Loyal to Tampa, eventually saw it through. I hope the same thing happens for Garrett with the Jets. Now, let's hope that Garrett Wilson can go out there and make plays the rest of the way. He's still on pace to get over 1,000 receiving yards again, which would be 4 times in 4 years if he does that. You got 9 games to go, and Garrett Wilson right now, stat-wise, has 395 yards. So let's say 400. He's played in 6 games. This will be his 7th game on Sunday. He's averaging 66 yards per game. So he should be able to get there. Mr. Magoo says, Mike Tannenbaum's niece is married to my cousin. Thanks for all you do, Jake. Mike Tannenbaum's niece is married to my cousin. Thanks for all you do, Jake. A super chat so great, he wrote it twice. Mr. Magoo, thank you. And how do I word this to Mike Tannenbaum on Sunday? Do I say, a listener of mine named Mr. Magoo says that your niece is married to Mr. Magoo's cousin? And if Mike goes, who's Mr. Magoo? What do I say? Abu_Jacob says, Jake, do you think there'll be any awkwardness between Sauce and Daniel Jones after Sauce couldn't find anything nice to say about him in a previous interview? I doubt it, right? I think Sauce is pretty likable. Daniel Jones is a good dude. I mean, Sauce went from a 1-7 team to a 7-2 team, right? So I think he's just excited to go somewhere where he has a chance to win. And look, the Colts are going for it, man. But couldn't we all see the Colts next year having a regression to like what the Commanders are going through this year? Like, I know Daniel Jones has played well. Are we convinced he's this good? I don't know. I got to see more of it. He might be, though. I mean, look, Sam Darnold has proven he's this good. I know he had the bad playoff game last year, and I kind of soured some people, and Minnesota moved on from him. But Sam's a good quarterback, man. Really good. He's playing great. Comments, questions, super chats, cut the line. Let's get to your calls, shall we? Let's go to Troy, who's first up on our show today. What's up, Troy?
Hey, Jake. How you doing, buddy?
I'm good, Troy. What's going on?
Hey, just watching that tape on GW. Hang on just a minute. I gotta go.
You gotta go? All right, Troy.
Light bulb.
We'll check back in with you. In the meantime, let's go to a guy who has plenty to say, but we don't know where he's calling from. You decide.
Yeah, I'm very appreciative of you getting me on last night as my phone battery was running out. Things do come up like it did with Troy there.
I hope Troy's not getting fired because it looked like he was calling in from work.
Oh boy, I'm gonna have that problem come January. But so A.D. Mitchell, very intriguing, right? Like, you know, he was stuck behind 3 other guys. It's always hard when there are more established players in front of you, and you're, even though you might be talented, and you make a few mistakes like he's made. Hopefully, we can give him an opportunity. Hopefully, Our wide receivers coach, Mr. Jefferson, I think can coach him up because the skills are off the charts. If you ever look at his RAS score, it's crazy. And that's kind of what I think this offense needs is that true X, a bigger, faster guy that can draw a safety and cornerback attention. Because if you have a quarterback that can run a little bit, that gives them, things to really think about. Mazzy Smith, I think we were discussing last night his PFF rating, which has not been great. I loved him coming out. Huge body. Worth a look over the next year or two to see if he can make the team next year. Big audition for him over the next 9 games and next training camp. I think that we probably need to get a true Quinnen replacement in. But if he could prove that he could be the one technique, that'd be great. Just see if you can another guy that you might be able to coach up and be part of the solution. If not, if in the mix, if in a rotation. I know that rotation is kind of a increasingly dirty word under Glenn compared to the Salah era, but that people get hurt and people need to play and people get tired, especially when you're those big bodies that are trying to stop the run on the down to down. Ed has me laughing. He's a good guy. I talked to him a little bit at the draft party, and he's right about a lot of things there. Glenn is mixing things up. Like this is, I was ready to move on after what I saw after the first 6 games, right? But in the win, he did have his best coaching game that he's had. So now that he's going to be here, we have no choice but to have patience with this guy. And if he can show, the courage to go for, a 58-yard field goal that can win the game. And if he can, manage the end of the half a little bit better. And if he can be a little bit more thoughtful around his media appearances, I think he's a good football man. We all want him to succeed. It's just a matter of, putting it all together. And he has some stuff that he said at other times, and he doesn't really follow through on it or adhere to it. If he can just relax, be who he is, now that he has the time to do it, maybe in a year or two, we'll have a coach and we'll be better for it. That's all I had today, Jake.
Well said. I mean, look, I think he's going nowhere at this point, Kyle. So hopefully he gets better. I mean, he's got to improve. If he doesn't, it's not going to matter how many draft capital they now put into the roster. Ladies and gentlemen, Jet royalties in the house. The great Connie Carberg. Thankful for all you do, Jay Connie. Hope you're doing well. Let's put Connie in our raffle now for 5. Let's hope better days are ahead, Connie, because God, does this fan base deserve it. Ralphie checks in. Next year, besides watching our team probably stink, we get the roof for the Colts, Cowboys, and Green Bay to all lose. What a season it shapes up to be. We will have rooting interest for 3 teams next year, in addition to the usual rooting against the Patriots, the Bills, and the Dolphins. It is fascinating. Honestly, the best thing Muji did, and he did a lot of great things on Tuesday, getting the Cowboys to agree that the Jets get the better of the 2 picks between them and Green Bay is an amazing job by Darren Muji. That really is a phenomenal job by Darren Muji there. He deserves a lot of credit for that. That's such a bad trade for the Cowboys. Quinnen's a good player. We can be honest. He has not been the all-pro version of himself since 2023. He was first-team all-pro in 22. That was his, double-digit sack year. He was incredible. 23, he was still very good. He was double-team more. And the D-line in general wasn't as dominant, but he still was very good, even if he didn't have the same sack totals. Last year, he was solid. This year, he's been good, right? But not like game-wrecking. Like, you pay a guy like what they paid him to game-wreck, and he's good. But he's probably, let's be real, a little overpaid. Team's 1-7 right now with him. Did he make that game-wrecking play to save them in Tampa or week 1 against the Steelers or, go down the list? He's a really good player. But they completely fleeced the Cowboys with that deal. And I like Quinnen. I'm not trying to dunk on him. I'm sure the losing has something to do with his production being down. Just like at some point, you just get sick of it. I mean, he's been here since Adam Gase's first season. Like, come on. But they completely fleeced Jerry Jones and the Cowboys for that deal. I think it's the Sauce trade is great. 2 ones, no brainer. But getting a second and a 1, and it's the better of the ones next year is unbelievable. Especially because everyone says the 27 draft has so much talent in it. So I love it. Gator writes in, there were 11 trades on Tuesday, 4 of which were Jets. 31 other teams could only get 7 trades done. Let's not act surprised the Jets could have moved a few players. It's not that easy. Yeah, but when you reportedly have some offers on the table for guys you didn't trade, I think it's fair criticism if they don't end up being on the team. Like, if you had a 4th on the table from Kansas City for Brees and he's not back next year, I think they did a bad job. I think you have to now keep Brees Hall. Let's get to more of your calls. We're going to go back to Troy. Hopefully he wasn't fired. Troy, were you fired?
No, it's just I sat here for about 15, 20 minutes watching your show, and then about the time I get on, surely somebody that comes up and needs some help. So,
where are you working?
I'm working in maintenance. I'm here in Missouri.
Missouri, nice. How are you a Jets fan?
Yeah. That's kind of a long story. It's I was a Chiefs fan for probably majority of my life, and finally got tired of the Schottenheimer, and it was just a long story. I had
you
to
were a
find
Chiefs
somebody
fan
else.
and didn't get to live through the dynasty you're a part that they're on right now. That is brutal. Why would you ever leave?
Well, if you watched Schottenheimer, go back to Elvis Gerback instead of the quarterback he had in, I forget his name now, but anyway, it's a long story. But yeah, I went to the Jets.
How long have you been a Jet fan then?
Since about 07, 08.
Wow. And you never thought about leaving at any point here?
It's kind of hard to say, but yeah, I can't. But no, I was wanting to talk to you. The Muji deals. I think there's a couple of things that those deals did. I think that gave Glenn and himself a 3-year leash, and because of the 2027 picks, and I think it gave the Jets a little life, as far as younger guys coming in and actually having something to work for. And like I was going to mention, the enthusiasm of Garrett Wilson, just in that skit that you played there that he had, is unreal. I mean, the kid is he's ready to go ball. And on a 1-7 team, he is excited. And if that doesn't tell you something about that kid itself, he's unbelievable.
I mean, look, he's the face of the franchise now, right? Like, he's the guy. And look, they need it. They need playmakers for whoever the quarterback is next year. He's the biggest part of all that, right? He's proven to be quarterback proof no matter what he's dealing with.
Yeah. Couple other things. The contracts on the new guys, what do we got on them? Is there any long-standing contracts on them?
No. Well, they're on rookie deals still, right? So, like, you have complete control over them. A.D. Mitchell's a guy that is only in his 2nd year on a 4-year rookie contract. Mechie was drafted in 22, but he's going to be a restricted free agent after the year because he didn't play that first year. So the Jets have right to match anything that he's offered. So they could control both these guys for a minimum cost, so let's hope one of them could pan out.
And if we do get it like a Mendoza, I'm still thinking that we should go in for Gardner Minshew next year and have like a 3-way battle. Hopefully Mendoza don't get the start, and they battle between Minshew and Justin Fields, and let Mendoza come in later in the year if he plays better than either one of them.
Yeah, look, I think they are definitely going quarterback early, Troy, and I think it will come down to which one they like the most, where they're picking, and ideally you don't maybe play him right away, but if he's ready, he's ready, right? Like Jackson Dart was ready when Dable made the move, so sometimes your plan is to not play the guy, but if they think he's ready, I think they'll play him. I think it will be fascinating to see how that plays out. Now, have you called before, Troy? I don't recognize you as a caller.
Yeah, I've called. I think it was a week ago, maybe I called.
Okay.
I had one more thing. The Mozzie Smith trade we got. Looking at his stats from last year, I ain't trying to compare him to Quinnen, but his stats are pretty close to Quinnen's, other than the sack stats. I mean, I don't know if you kind of pulled him up and looked at him very close, but
yeah, I mean, look, he's been a pretty big bust from people I spoke to in Dallas. Like, he doesn't command the double teams that Quinnen does. Quinnen is one of the best interior run stuffers in the league. In fact, I think a couple of the sites that track that stuff have him as number one. Like, you can't even compare the players. Stats with DTs and corners are so misleading. Revis didn't have a lot of stats, too, once teams realized he was the best corner in his prime of all time, and no one threw at him. You know? Good call, Troy. Call back anytime. Glad you didn't get fired. Comments, questions, super chats. They cut the line. I saw this from Matt O'Leary. Here's your QB watch guide for Week 11 in college football tomorrow. Indiana versus Penn State, noon. We're locked in on Fernando Mendoza. Oregon versus Iowa, 3:30. We're locked in on Dante Moore. LSU versus Alabama, 7:30. We're locked in on Ty Simpson. This is where we're at, baby. This is where we're at. Super chat from Bo. He's in the raffle for a signed Jermaine Johnson jersey coming up here. He's in for 2. I don't agree that we have to suck next year. Of all the mistakes this franchise has made over the years, these picks in capital weren't one of them, but current players need to step up for this to work. And the most obvious, they got to hit on the picks. We all know that. I like what they did. It sucks that we got to this point where they had to do this. They shouldn't be 1-7. And Sauce and Quinnen should have been a part of teams that were in the playoffs in their tenure with the Jets. So it's a shame. They got to get a quarterback. That's what it comes down to. You could have all the picks in the world. I mean, Muji should take a quarterback this year, and if that guy is terrible or they have doubts, do it again next year with one of your 3 first-rounders. Keep drafting a quarterback every year till you get one. Every year. You're not winning anything without a quarterback. We saw the Jets have really good teams that didn't win anything because of quarterback. Douglas hit on a lot of his picks, right? He hit on the 4 premium top 35 picks in 2022. Sauce, Garrett, Jermaine, Brees, they were all major hits. They didn't win anything. The most they won was 7 games. Got to win football games, man. But the only way to do that is to have a franchise quarterback. More calls. Draft class update is next.
Hey, what's going on, Jake? So, yeah, I just wanted to talk about the I got an update. Todd McShay was saying that per one of his close sources with Oregon, that Dante Moore is actually going to stay another year, and Ty Simpson's going to stay another year. So the only quarterback that's really going to be worth drafting next year is Mendoza. But he says that in 27 it's going to be loaded with Lenora Sellers, Lenoris, Moore, Simpson, Raiola. I'm forgetting guys.
Arch Manning,
big time. John Mateer. So I'm thinking, why don't we just draft a quarterback at 27 and then draft? I know it sucks, but instead of reaching on Mendoza, let's draft a quarterback at 27.
What did they like Mendoza?
If they like him, then we take him, but that's the risk they take because you only get this once or you get fired. look at Joe D.
But are we sure that they're guaranteed to get a quarterback in 2027? What if Aaron Glenn goes 4-13 next year? You think he's definitely coming back for a year 3, no matter what? It's risky.
It's very risky, but
like a quarterback, you got to take one. I don't believe in this. 2027 is so much better. They said that about this year's class when we were doing this a year ago. So every year we do this, get a quarterback. Let's see if Moore actually goes back to school first. We'll wait and see. Let's see if Simpson actually goes back to school first. We'll wait and see. Like, I'm not convinced. Like, if they're projected to be top 10 guys, maybe they learn from what happened with Drew Allard and they don't go back to school and risk getting hurt and tanking their draft stock.
Yeah, and then I'm also looking at the defense this year. They got Ruben Bain Jr., Caleb Downs, Peter Woods. Like, there's some good defensive guys we could target as well this upcoming year. Arvell Reese, the linebacker from Ohio State.
That'd be my pick.
He looks like a monster. I ain't gonna lie. Like, I think he would be great for us. But yeah, I mean, we have a lot of choices to make, but I also agree with Kyle Clifton about I thought A.D. Mitchell was a very sneaky good signing. I know I called you the other day, talked to you about it, but I definitely think he's like he could be like a T. Higgins, like his skill set. I mean, I know he made that play that cost his team the game, but you don't just make an 80-yard touchdown. Like, the talent is there. He did a Malachi Corley and fumbled in the end zone. We know all too well about that, but I think the guy has talent, and with the right coaching, if Glenn really is the coach savant that he says he is, let's see if he could coach him up, because the guy has the most talent we've had in a wide receiver other than Garrett Wilson in a long time. So
yeah. Let's see. Let's see. I like that they brought in a guy who was a 2nd-round pick, super talented, but couldn't really play because there were 3 guys in front of him. Plus, the Colts run the hell out of the ball. They got Jonathan Taylor, so I like it. I mentioned this during the conversation with Ed. I don't know if it was on air or off air. I just want to reiterate it. I was reading Albert Breer's news column on SI today, and he noted that Darren Muji told Chris Ballard of the Colts, hey, please don't leak that we have this trade for Sauce Gardner because I'm going to Nick Mangold's funeral, and I don't want the news coming out in the middle of that service. So just want to give props to Muji. I think Muji's been really impressive this past week. And really the in-season trades, going back to even the training camp trades for Phillips and Briggs, I think he's done a really good job. We know a lot of it is, Glenn directed, but Muji's the one on the phones extracting value, and he's going to be the one that's going to be calling the teams trying to navigate the draft board. So I like it. I think he's done a good job. More calls right now. Let's say hello to Taylor from Connecticut. Hello, Taylor.
Jake, what's up?
Taylor, what's going on?
Oh, in the streets of New Haven here. I'm working at the hospital. Figured I'd call in from work like everybody else.
Love it.
But I feel like we've all been down on Glenn, and for a good reason, but I'm high on hopium because I feel like he's doing, our sales guy. And it's like, you see the Sauce interview, like, I'm running around in circles, happy that I got traded. And it's like the difference of personality between him and Garrett. I'm saying, I feel like him and Quinnen were kind of checked out guys. And Glenn saw that.
That comment from Sauce is being taken out of context. He was just excited to go to a winning team. He said nothing but good things about Glenn and the Jets.
I know he's not, a bad guy, but another I'm just, I'm good with him. It's fine. But hot take, I think the Pats game next Thursday is a big trap game for them. They haven't had their bye yet. It's going to be a short week. They're going to be completely overlooking the Jets.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's a big opportunity for Glenn, come up with a good game plan on a short week, kind of take them by surprise. I don't buy all the Drake May hype. I'm like, he played average football at best last year, lost a bunch of games. This year he's beaten a bunch of bad teams, played one good game versus the Bills. I watched the entire Pats-Falcons game last week, and he didn't impress me at all in that game. Granted, I know the stats are what they are. The stats are good, but I don't know. maybe it's just a Jets fan to me that really wants them to suck. But I think that's a big trap game. And A.D. Mitchell, the big thing to watch for the rest of the year. The defense. I feel like the defensive players that we do have, that's what everybody should be watching for. And Glenn, obviously. But if A.D. Mitchell can be, a serviceable wide receiver, I mean, the last caller, T. Higgins, that would be the dream, But I'm like, if you can get another, I like Surratt, just if you get Mendoza, but there's a couple other big body receivers in the draft. Like if you get two of those guys and you can get Arian Smith and Garrett kind of running around wherever, being kind of speed utility guys in the in motion a lot, playing from the slot. It's like you got something there, and you got the O-line. So it's all about the quarterback.
I mean, look, if Fields shows up, can they be competitive? I think so. We'll see. I don't like their chances in that game, though, Taylor. I think Mike Vrabel will have his team in a short week better prepared than Aaron Glenn will, based on what we have seen so far. I think Aaron Glenn's the worst coach in the NFL right now, so proven otherwise. So I got to see a lot more. What's the Jet level of motivation down the stretch here? How do they respond after the trades the Jets made? That will be fascinating to see. Comments, questions, super chats. Reminder, if you want to win a signed wing for Bet Football this week, enter the raffle. If you want to win a signed Joe Klecko helmet, enter the raffle. And our grand prize, a signed football by the GOAT, Darrelle Revis. Make sure you enter the Asmaniac raffle. And at the end of the show today, enter the raffle to win a Jermaine Johnson autographed jersey. Spencer says, I'm so weak. Worst coach. Who's worse than Aaron Glenn right now? Name me a coach that is worse than Aaron Glenn. Tell me. Like, who would you take Aaron Glenn over in the NFL right now? Seriously. Tell me. I'm not counting the Titans who have an interim coach. Like, until I see anything different, what have I seen from Aaron Glenn that tells me he's a good coach? He's won one football game. If you don't think he's the worst coach in the league, that's fine. Is he in the top 3 worst? Let's be realistic. No one's saying he can't improve, but we got to call a spade a spade. Tell me how I'm wrong. More of your calls right now. Let's check in with a man who always has a sense for what needs to be done. It's time.
Up to the line. There we go. Look at this. There we go. Get out of the way. Stand. Bad penalty. Bad penalty. Very bad. Great. 2 minutes for cross-checking. Get out of here. Let's go. Let's play some hockey. Got him. Get down there, Snyder. Go, go, go. Hey! That's a cross-check penalty. That's cross-checking. Hey, get him, Graves, get him! Get out! Get in there, Snyder! Lease! To Graves! Get out of the corner! There you go, get him! Then we get him! Get him! Get him! Doesn't matter, go get him! All right, give it to that, then. Go, 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 go! 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 Get out of that corner! Get out of the corner!
I got gas right now.
Wonderful conversation there with Beast. We all are grateful for it. Ladies and gentlemen, more of your calls. The champ is on the line.
The only thing better than all them shoes is Joey D, cause he totally rules. Jake, my brother, I'm high as a kite. I love everybody. Damn, this show is crazy.
Jake, my brother.
Mr. Bonesy.
What's up, man?
It's a football Friday. Does it get better than that?
I'm excited, man. The trades definitely, gave us a little bit of juice. It definitely gave me juice, just from the fact that it almost, because like we're all down on Glenn. Yes, because of his coaching and like the decisions he's made in game and all that type of stuff. But on the flip side, it's more the pressure that he put on us with his promises and what he said in his interviews, leading up in training camp and stuff. I was saying it the whole time, like, dude, you're putting a lot of pressure on yourself, guaranteeing we're here to win and win now. And we all know what he said. And that's what made us not have the same type of patience that we should have if he was to be honest with us and say, like the Justin Fields thing. That was a big decision in this entire thing was Justin Fields. He put a lot of pressure on himself, believing in Justin Fields and making it feel like this was his decision. I still hope that somewhere in the background, this was Woody's fault. But, Justin Fields, the quarterback is everything. And I'm with you when it comes to I personally don't want to wait for a quarterback unless we make a trade. Well, I mean, we can't make a trade unless we get like a – like the Lions did with Jared Goff. But in my mind, I can't find that type of situation. Like everyone's talking about the Burrow situation. That's not happening. Why would Joe Burrow want to come to a franchise that's honestly shittier and leave an offense where he's, puts up the numbers that he does? Like, why do you want – they just paid Chase and Higgins because of Burrow. Like, I don't know. I don't – that's a waste of my time talking about it. I don't see Burrow getting traded, but what other situations is there?
You at least asked, though. That was my point on it.
Yeah, obviously. I mean, I would give anything. I don't care what these people say. Like, I was listening to JJ yesterday, and who was it that was so adamant that they wouldn't do it? Was it Beningo? Yeah, I think it was. It's like, Joe, man, we've been in quarterback hell for how long? Like, I would give anything for the type of quarterback that Joe Burrow is. I would give up all the picks we got. I'll give a whole draft because you can rebound from that when you have good quarterback play. That is what is the biggest. I would pick unless they really look at this quarterback class as like they don't have their guy. I would draft a quarterback for the two reasons you just said earlier too. Say we come to next year and it's a shit show again. Like Glenn we're just losing games in bad fashion. And it's another bad season where we're all really down on the team, even with the high hopes of, and say, for instance, he did pick a quarterback and it's a complete failure. I still will always go back on if you give a coach like 2 years and it is a complete shit show like it was with Gase. You got 3 first-round picks coming up. There is a coach that would be willing to put his credentials on the line and come to the Jets, even though it could get ruined because that's what we do. But with that type of ammunition, like, hey, you can come into us. You're going to be able to pick your guy, kind of like Cliff Kingsbury did back in the day with Rosen and, Murray. So I don't know, Jake. I still think
they got to get a quarterback this year, though. I'm not waiting until 27.
Agreed. I'm with you. And I personally think that the defense, and this is going to sound crazy, but I think that the defense is going to play better now that we got some people who want, like Quinnen. Obviously, we found out, and shout out to Quinnen for not leaking. We didn't know nothing. He gave his interviews the same. He didn't give one specific clue. We are the New York fans. We are on those interviews like white on rice, looking for little things that these guys say. And he didn't give any. The only thing he did was the quote about Aaron Rodgers in the offseason. And then he immediately said that he talked to Glenn and now he's behind the team. And there was nothing. And that made his value. The fact that we got a 1 and a 2 for Quinnen is just, and the better of the two. Like, I'm a Joe Douglas guy, but Muji is coming out with some power. He hit this year already, showing that he knows how to draft and the ammunition that we have going forward. And it's 2 positions that the defense couldn't figure it out anyway. And Sauce, they obviously, he isn't a scheme fit, right? Like, Aaron Glenn isn't letting a quarterback go when he needs cornerbacks in his defense to be a specific way. He's not letting Sauce walk unless, like, you know, I don't know. I think the defense is going to come in and we're going to have some young blood that's going to make mistakes like A.Z. Thomas. A.Z. Thomas almost had a pick last game, right? And he did get beat by T. Higgins, but he's young, and let these boys play, man. I actually like that they benched Quincy. Quincy must be either acting up and not playing well in the system. And they're like, yo, man, we're going to give the rookie reps. He's hungry. He's playing. He's doing things correctly in the run game. And so I don't know, man. The discipline, I like the accountability that Glenn has showed. It's just his mouth, man. If he can get some wins under his belt, he's going to stop being so defensive. So not only do we need wins, Glenn needs some wins so he could get. He has been so defensive. It's sickening, you know.
1,000%. Look, they got to win games. I like what they did, but they shouldn't have been in this spot in the first place, which gravely concerns me. And it's why we need to see a head coach really improve because he's going nowhere. If next year's an unmitigated disaster, I don't think they're necessarily guaranteed a third year. They would be guaranteed a third year potentially if they draft a quarterback this year. And then if next year's ugly, it's, do we want to blow it all up with our quarterback we just used the top 3 pick on and have him learn a new offense? No, let's see it through with one more year where we had 3 first-round picks to supplement the roster around them. So there's a path they're here for now, 2 more seasons after this one. So just hopefully they improve and get better. Otherwise, we're screwed.
Yeah, and the in-season trades by Muji have been great. Brownlee was an instant starter, and we so Muji's already showing. Like I was always so ridiculous with Joe Douglas because I just wasn't used to that type of like confidence in the GM just knowing what he's doing. Izzik and McCagnon ruined me. So that's why I was always so Joey 3 legs. But already Muji steps in and he's done more than Izzik and McCagnon drafted Quinnen. So that was a hit pick, but that wasn't too hard. He was top 5. I was so broken down in the past about the GMs and how they ran the team and how bad our drafts have been throughout the years. So Muji already comes in, and our Membu's a hit so far. Taylor looks great. Even A.Z. Thomas is about to step in and get played. Malachi's already starting, and now even Mauga is already getting the start. Like that's just.
I don't know if he's good though. Cool. We'll see. Like I think the draft overall has been good because
he's playable.
Yeah,
we haven't.
He might be.
Playable
He's all fair. Let's see A.Z. Thomas, man. I'm excited about him because if he's a good corner, all of a sudden you turn Sauce into all the picks you got. Plus, you already had his replacement on your team, and Stevens has obviously been really good of late since he was terrible. We'll see. Obviously, they got to keep hitting on these picks, but it comes down to quarterback, man. Joe Douglas did everything right, but not everything. But he did a lot right. But what failed him was the Wilson pick, and then Rodgers getting hurt. It's no one's fault. But that's what it's going to come down to. Can they figure out the quarterback situation and hopefully take someone this year that they put in a position to have a chance to succeed?
All right, Jake, I'm about to switch from Wi-Fi to mobile, so I'm probably going to lose you.
Bonesy, all the love. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Bonesy.
Let's go to eat a damn snack.
Thank you, Bonesy. All right, home stretch for the show. If you want it on the Jermaine Johnson jersey raffle, now's the time. We only have 6 gifted memberships this show, so I'm going to gift the membership right now. Shout out to everyone who's tuned in. If you get one from me, I'm putting you in the raffle, so you have a chance to win. Ladies and gentlemen, a gifted membership is about to be fired off. Let's freaking go. A membership has been gifted. Hey, now. It went to listener Xavier Bradley. Xavier Bradley, you're in the raffle for 1. Let's get back into some of your calls right now. Ladies and gentlemen, a warning must be issued.
Warning, warning, Allen alert. Shit's about to get ugly, folks. Warning, Allen alert. Hide the children.
What's going on, Jacob? How are you?
Hello, Al.
Tell Bonesy that Maui Noah is a depth linebacker. I do not expect him to be our starter next year. Again, a guy in free agency that I would cover is Leo Chanel. If they can sign him, he'd be the perfect complement to
Or Anzalone, because he played with Glenn in Detroit.
I know, but Chanel is 250 pounds. He is perfect. He is the complement to Sherwood. He is the Jack Campbell of what this defense needs. Another thing about Mac Jones, I know people keep saying sign Mac Jones. Mac Jones
2-year contract.
He signed a 2-year, $7 million deal with San Francisco. So he's not going anywhere. That was a brilliant move by the Niners, and he's playing fantastic for them. Couple of comments. I know you had mentioned you want them definitely to draft a quarterback in round 1 of this upcoming draft. I'm a little hesitant on that, especially if they start winning games, because again, I look at 3 guys up top in Mendoza, Simpson, and Moore, and I truly believe that Moore is not going to be in this draft. I think Moore is going to go back to college. I think there's a under the table deal with Oregon for him to come back to school. If the Jets somehow win 4 games or 5 games and get the 7th, 8th pick, I'm not really a big fan of trading up for the quarterback, because I don't think these quarterbacks are really worthy to trade up for. And now that you have 3 first-round picks in 27 in the bag, honestly, I would be more inclined to trade back to get more picks and maybe somehow, some way, like the Rams did last year, maybe find your way to get a 4th first-round pick. So then you can just be completely in charge of the 27 draft. So again, if the Jets finish in the top 3 and they love Simpson or they love Mendoza, I can understand them standing put. But I would not be one to go all in for a quarterback and trade future assets. Again, the Jets are in the point right now with all these assets and $100 million of cap space that they could utilize it to their advantage and get multiple players on day 2 of this draft. Again, I don't think this is such a great draft, the 26th draft. I would rather them get more quantity on day 2, maybe try to recoup that 3rd round pick that they lost and maybe get players in that range. I am more inclined to actually get players in the 25 to 60 range, more so than getting picks in the top 15, because I think you can find receivers, you can find a linebacker, you can find a safety, you could find an edge in that area, more so than going all in and trading multiple assets to get one of these quarterbacks in this draft.
Boomtown says, Allen, over under 99.5 times you touted Nussmeier this past summer.
First of all, I said the Jets would win 6 games. Okay. So I thought the Jets would be a top 8 pick. I never knew the Jets would be this bad. So again, I would have never taken Nussmeier in the top 3. Again, Nussmeier has had a bad season because their offensive line has been awful. And now that their coach is gone, I could see him basically taking the rest of the season off. If you want Nussmeier, I mean, he's a guy you could take in the 2nd round or late in the 1st round. But again, I've never been one that I thought that Nussmeier was a top 2, top 3 pick. I thought the Jets would draft him at 8 to 10 more so than the top 3. So,
well, I'll tell you what, we still got too much football to go before we know where they're picking. I mean, I want a quarterback this year, though. Boomtown's point to you is exactly why waiting until 2027 is so dangerous. Oh, it's going to be better next year. They said that last year about this year's class. So to me, it's just, it's too big of a risk. If you can get a quarterback, if you believe in Mendoza and you got to trade up to get him, do it. You need a quarterback. No one cares what you trade up if you get it right. Maybe they don't need the trade up because the Jets are this bad. Like, I don't think they're beating the Browns Sunday. So, like, I don't think they're winning more than maybe 2 more games the rest of the way. So we'll see. But I need a quarterback this year. I do. I'm not waiting until 2027. I think there's so much risk into that. Remember the Giants tried to trade up a couple of years ago? They wanted Drake May. New England said no. They were going to try and trade up to 2. Well, guess what? Washington wasn't going to help you out in your division. And you were never going to get Caleb from the Bears. So we could say, trade up in 2027, get your quarterback then. Well, what if the quarterbacks you like are unavailable because you win too many games in 2026, and now you're not in position, no matter how much you offer, to even trade up to get that guy? It's too risky. You don't know where the Jets are going to be picking in 27. What if they only like 2 of these quarterbacks? What if like Arch goes back to school another year or is not as good as we think? Like Nussmeier hasn't been good. Sellers hasn't been good this year. Like we don't know. Remember 2 years ago, Carson Beck was going to be the top pick of the draft. He was so bad he had to transfer. I think it's too risky to wait till 2027. We will see where the Jets end up. Obviously, if they don't like any of the quarterbacks, then yeah, we'll have the conversation then. But I'm operating under they need to get a quarterback this year. And if they're not going to do it in the first round, then it needs to be a second round pick like what the Saints did with Chuck, where you give him a chance to play. And if it doesn't work out, then guess what? You could do it again in 2027. Draft a quarterback every year till you have one. Now, you don't need to do it in the first round every year, but you need to be aggressive addressing that position till you have a franchise guy. Drew Aller, top 10 pick this year, right? I mean, come on. We need to stop with the next year's quarterback class is always going to be better bullshit. That's what got the Jets to bypass picking Patrick Mahomes in 2017. Papa Jet is in the Asmaniac raffle. He gifted 5 channel memberships. Mock draft season, baby. We're underway. Bo says this take might sound crazy, but I firmly believe we should grab 2 QBs in this year's draft. I have no problem with that. Take one in the top 3, and then take another one on day 3. San Fran did that with Trey Lance and Brock Purdy. The Redskins did that with RG3 and Kirk Cousins. I have no problem with that. I don't think it's crazy at all. You need a quarterback. Need a quarterback. More of your calls.
Let's go, Jets! Let's go, Jets! Let's go, Jets! Let's go, Jets! Yes, we need a quarterback. That's one thing correct. El Mundo. $5 billion for next year. We're gonna need 2 ice baths put in the locker room because we're gonna need that kind of money, and we're going to go get fresh, big boy talent. No more wishy-washy. I'm injured, my toe's banged up. Oh, boy, cut the pussy shit. Guys back then who were my age, sure, banged up, tape them up. Put some ice on it and get some duct tape and tape it up. Not hard. You can use athletic tape. You can use duct tape, but whatever works. Make it work. You want to win games? Bust your ass. Work real hard. Doesn't matter how much pain you're in. If it's your back, okay, we'll get the ice for it. If it's your leg, we got boots. We'll tape you. We'll get that shoe off you, and we'll put the boot on you. You know why? Because we will not have you banged up so bad to the point where if it's this bad, you're off. Cut the farting. Do you think I look like I'm joking today? I don't think so, pal. See, now the time has come. This team needs to do one of 2 things. You either better put up or you shut up. It's win or go home now. Do it now. The time has come. As the great Winston Churchill once said, now the time has come. Stand up and show yourself. Get some balls. Act like a team. Look hungry. Be hungry. And remember what Jaws used to do. When Jaws smells blood in the water, you know what Jaws used to do? Dent. Jaws was a killer. That's what this team needs to do. Be the killer. Be the weapon of choice. Be the team you are and do it right now.
Hey, Beast. Spencer Green says, Beast, our star wide receiver pulled his hamstring last night. Treatment plan to get him back by Friday, ?
Ice. Use plenty of ice. Go to the store, get about 10 bags. Ain't going to be much. Just have him sit in the ice. It's going to sting like a bitch. But you know what the best part is? It'll help the circulation back into that joint where it's been injured. That's where, if it's injured that badly, then let him sit some more. It's going to take a while. Sure, Injuries are going to hurt. But you know what the best part is? Glory. Glory lasts forever. Just like diamonds last forever. And you live forever. And you know why you live forever? Because Jesus knows. He knows. In your heart, all you got to do is put your mind to it.
Yeah, it is.
Thank you, Beast. Reminder to join the Patreon. If you sign up for the year, you save 15% and get 10 raffle tickets applied to the weekly raffle. Reminder to enter the Jermaine Johnson signed jersey raffle coming up. Aaron Glenn is speaking right now, so let's head live to One Jets Drive and listen in to the head coach of the NYJ.
Injury-wise, just like I said earlier in the week, everybody's trending in a good place to be able to play. Looking forward to that. When it comes to this game, the guys have been doing a really good job of practice this week. Everybody's been all in. Everybody's focused. And looking forward to play. Looking forward to get us a win. All right, so any questions?
What are your impressions of your two new receivers so far, and what role might they be able to play this week?
Yeah, they're both two different guys. And Mechie is a really good slot receiver. I'm not saying he can't play outside, but, man, he's a master when it comes to the route concepts in the slot, be able to punch in and out of the routes, being able to create separation because of his quickness. When you look at AD, man, you put him out, he is a true X receiver. And he is one that can win the one-on-one battle, the slants, digs, go balls. So we're going to try to use those guys to what they do best. Now, they're still learning our system, right? Still learning our system. They still have today to go to see exactly how we're going to look at those guys being a part of what we're doing this weekend. So I can't promise you that, but they'll definitely be a part of what we got going on.
What will it mean to get Garrett back out there?
Anytime you get a player of that magnitude back, it always helps your team. I think that's really common sense. I mean, he's one of the best in this league. So anytime you get a chance to be out there with the rest of the guys really helps us as an offense.
This, with a receiver, to acclimate him, is it possible to have him contribute early with not having a full knowledge of the playbook? Like,
yeah.
Here's your assignment on this play.
Absolutely. Absolutely it is. But you have to be very specific on what he's doing and what you're asking him to do, and him completely knowing what his job is in that instance. So that can happen. But we want to make sure that we're treating those players the right way to where they won't go out and make any mistakes. And they understand that. And I think most teams will do that. But you're right. You know, there are some instances where this is all you got. But then again, if you do that every time they're in the game, the defense will know exactly what that player is doing.
A guy like Mitchell with that,
Yep.
with that age and that level of seeming ability, is he the kind of guy who could really just change his scenery and then things kind of click? Because it seemed to be, it wasn't happening there, but
Yeah.
But could it happen?
Yeah. Well, that's the plan. That's the plan for him to come here, get a change of scenery, because he is definitely talented. And I think you guys already know that from what he did in college, come to the NFL. So he's excited to be here. I do know that. Funny story, I didn't know that he actually went to school, high school with my daughter, right, in Texas. You know, so we have a connection there. So looking forward to getting him out there, and you just see how he's built in his pads. He looks like a true X receiver. So I'm excited for having that player.
Did you know each other?
I didn't. I don't know if he knew her, but when I come to start linking things together, I come to find out he went to Ridgepoint High School. My daughter went to Ridgepoint High School. They was there at the same time. So pretty funny story.
Did you say, call your daughter,
I did. And I think she's on social media, they have some of the same friends that went to the high school. So again, so that means it's family, right?
Question asked do you plan on naming a starter Sunday?
Say it again?
A starter quarterback for Sunday.
We'll have a quarterback.
All right, so just follow up on that. Either you're not going to tell us Fields or Taylor.
We'll have a quarterback.
Unrelated to having a quarterback.
Okay.
Would you like to get to a point here where you have a set quarterback where he whether it's Taylor, Fields, whatever, he is your guy so that you can deal with the ebbs and flows where, say it's Justin or it's Taylor, they have a bad game on Sunday. It's not, okay, it's the other one next week. We're riding with this guy the rest of the season. He is our quarterback.
Well, the thing is, I don't worry about those things. Our guys know who's going to be the quarterback. I know who's going to be the quarterback. It's just not my responsibility to have to tell you that.
Okay, so the quarterback, okay.
Thank you.
Quincy told us.
Does anyone think this is funny? Like, really? You're 1-7, dude. Like, really? It's just like, what? There's no point. Our team knows who the quarterback is, but I don't need to tell you guys. It's unnecessary. There's no competitive advantage. It's just being a douche to be a douche. Whatever, man. Win games, no one will care, but you're 1-7 and you look like one of the worst coaches any of us have seen, and I lived through the Adam Gase era. I saw Jeff Obrick. All right. Funny bit. Ha ha ha. We're 1-7. Love it.
The other day that you guys let him know he's going to be running with the twos, and he said it was because of the way he's been playing. What can you say about?
Here's what I would say about that. I keep all of those conversations in-house between me and him, even though you guys know it already. That's first thing. The second thing is we do things a certain way here, and that's how we're going to operate. And the third thing is Quincy's going to be just fine. Just trust me on that. He'll be just fine.
Aaron, with Mozzie Smith, you talked before about Mitchell getting a change of scenery.
Yep.
How much might a change of scenery help him? And obviously things didn't go according to plan in Dallas.
Yeah.
It's well documented. What did you see from his film in Dallas, and what can he do for you guys?
Well, I go back to when he was in Michigan. At this point, I was in Detroit, and he came and he visited with us. And man, he's a huge man. He's strong. Has all the traits that you're really looking for when it comes to a defensive tackle. And obviously things didn't work out well with him in Dallas. And just like AD, man, we're hoping that he can get a change of scenery and come here with us and be able to provide, what we're looking for also when it comes to defensive tackles. And, man, he's a good-looking dude. I'm just telling you. And hopefully we can get him on the right track. And listen, I think our D-line coach will. I do. But we could definitely utilize a man of that size and stature to be a part of our D-line. So hopefully that'll come around here. He'll do a good job for us.
What can you say about the impact Myles Garrett has on the game, and then also what he does for the rest of that defensive line? Because some of those other guys have a pretty good season, and I have a feeling I have something to do with him. Yeah,
I'll tell you what. He well, let me say this. Collins, I think he's having an outstanding year. And that's in the run and pass. I know he's been known as just a true pass rusher, but he's a very physical player that has a good amount of pass rush moves. And a lot of that has a lot to do with Garrett, because you have to have people looking at where he's at all the time and being able to have 2, sometimes 3 guys to contain him, which opens up for everybody else, So Garrett needs a lot of attention. And he's just that type of player. But our guys are ready for that. And listen, we had that with Watt. We had to give him a lot of attention too. So it won't be anything new for us. And there's going to be times when guys going to be one-on-one. When you're one-on-one, you got to win your battle. And that's just what it is. You're going to play against good players every week. And our guys understand that. So he has some attention, but we also have to win our battles when we're one-on-one.
I imagine just about every game that Garrett plays, their face give him extra attention.
Oh, yeah.
Calling double and all that stuff. You look at his sack totals and they don't look real year by year. I mean, it's ridiculous what he does. So how is he still able to have success when you and every team that faces trying to make it their priority?
Yeah, and that's a good question, because when you look at the last game and you look at the sacks that he had, a lot of those sacks were just easy win. He gonna make it. A lot of those sacks because, man, the guys in coverage did a really good job of stopping him. The guys that were rushing were able to actually flush the quarterback to where he was. And, man, he was just relentless at that time and ended up getting sacked. I think some of those sacks he had, I think the ball was held 3.5, damn near 4 seconds, So now when everyone else is doing their job, that allows him to actually win because he's a relentless player.
Couple more. How impressed have you been with running back Judkins?
Hard-nosed, another guy that we watch quite a bit, from Ohio State. he brings a physical presence to that offense. And with them running as many gap scheme runs that they have, we know what that means, that, they're trying to get the ball downhill as much as they can with this player. So we have to do a good job. That's the one thing we have to do, very, very well, is be able to contain this run game and not allow him to chip these runs off, these 5, the 7, the 6. Because once you allow that, man, that just puts them ahead of the stick. So we have to do a good job of getting negative yards with him in this run game to get us ahead in those situations.
When you're doing your self-scout
Yeah.
during the bye week, and you look at no interceptions for your defense,
Yeah.
you look at that as luck, scheme, execution. I'm not asking you for the solution.
Absolutely.
The solution is, but what overall did you feel like when you looked at that problem?
That's another good question, because usually, and this is the way I think, to be honest with you, I look at it two different ways. If you're playing a good amount of man coverage, that's one thing that has to stand out is a good amount of PBUs, and completion percentage for a quarterback needs to be down. I would think quarterback rating needs to be down also, because now you're locked on a guy and you should be denying the ball. When you're playing a good amount of zone coverage, man, you expect that your interception rate will be up because guys are being able to see the quarterback and being able to make plays. We do a little bit of both, in Wilson's scheme. And the thing that no one's happy when you don't have the interception, because you just tip balls and things like that. You get them. And, man, some of that is luck. We just haven't had a chance to get those. But when you do get a chance to get your hands on the ball, we haven't caught some of them either. So it's a little bit of everything combined. Luck, we got to make the play. And when you're in zone coverage, man, you got to be able to read the quarterback and make plays. When you're in man, you got to be able to deny the ball. So it goes. I know it's a long answer, but that's just the way I think when it comes to that.
Thanks, everybody. Thank you.
All good? All right.
All right, that's Aaron Glenn. Not naming a quarterback. We're playing this game for another week. It is going to be Justin Fields. So I don't know why he can't just say it, but he wants to continue to take that approach. God bless him. Let's see if they win games, because that's really the only thing that ultimately matters. If they don't win, all this stuff will continue to be discussed and used against them. If they do win, no one cares. But when you act like Belichick or Parcells and you're 1-7, people are going to hear that and just be like, really, dude? Like, it just looks silly. But he's not changing, and he's not going anywhere, so hopefully he knows what he's doing. I have major doubts. How could you not? Henny says, draft a quarterback every year till you find one. Amen. All right, a couple more of your calls. Ladies and gentlemen, we head live to a local hospital in the Vermont area. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time.
Hi, everybody. This is Bob from Vermont. I am Bob, of course. Hello, Jake.
Hello, Bob.
How are you doing? These are my nurses over here. But I'm going home today, guys.
Wow.
I'm going home today. Yeah, I don't have to go to the nursing home. And I have to get IV right now for, for antibiotic and saline. Then in about 2 hours, I could probably leave to go home. So that would be good. And I'd be home with Nala again. Yep. I got this shoe. I went for physical therapy this morning and I walked with it. And she said, you're fine. You could walk at home.
I heard that you were the fastest patient they've ever had. You were zooming down the halls.
Well, not zooming. I had to get used to that. It has like, you have to walk on the heel, right? And it has this thing on top of it. I don't know what you call it, but that's how the shoe looks. So I'm happy I'm going home. No nursing home. No nothing. I got my hair brushed, you see? Very nice.
Oh, yeah. You're looking good.
Yeah, I got a sponge bath today.
Oh, you love the sponge bath.
Yeah, doing good today. Yep, very good. I wanted to call in. Did your friend call in today yet?
Who's my friend?
The lady that does the food critic.
No, that's the afternoon show, Bob.
Oh, that's right. Oh my God, this is the morning. Okay, I get confused.
What did you
so
have
that's
for
the afternoon? Yeah.
What did you have for dinner last night in the hospital?
Oh well, I got so late from the thing they only could give me a turkey sandwich, but I had for lunch. Dinner I had some egg McMuffin with cheese on it. That was good.
Sounds
Yeah,
magical.
very good. Yeah, they have these points for diabetics. You gotta, I forgot how many points it adds up to, but you gotta continue the numbers, That's how they keep your diet going. Am
Oh
I
yeah.
doing good? I'm feeling good. I got it going. Yep. So Dr. Lacani did a good job on my surgery. You know him, his brother. His brother knows your brother, Zach. Zach's a cool guy. Tell him. All right. Tell your dad and mom I said hi. And Chloe, don't forget Chloe.
All right, I'll let him
Don't
know.
forget Chloe. I'll call in the afternoon, okay, too?
All right. Feel better, Bob.
Okay. Oh, I feel great now.
All right.
Except I gotta get better with. It's still like swollen though, the foot area. But I'm going home. That's
All
what
right.
counts.
We'll
Have a
talk
good
to you
day,
soon, Bob.
everybody. Bye now.
Farewell.
Well,
Okay,
you
thank
know,
you.
I have my own YouTube show. If I'm awake, I'm going live. Unless Jake has a show, Bobby.
You know, Bobby enjoyed that sponge bath. Oh yeah. Sponge bath Bob, baby. All right, Jordan. Close this out, Jordan. Last chance to get in the raffle to everyone else. What's up, Jordan?
What's up, Jake? My thing today was going off your show last night with Dylan Terraman. You guys were talking about the draft and all that good stuff. It was a great show. I wasn't able to watch it, but I watched it after you posted it. My thing is everybody's saying that the draft this year with the QBs, they're not that good, but they're good enough to win games and be serviceable, right? So if we don't want to take a QB at number 3, why not do what the Giants and the Texans did with either take a wide receiver or edge rusher and then take a QB later in the second round or later in the first round?
When did the Texans do that? You mean
With
with
CJ
Stroud?
with CJ Stroud and Will Anderson.
Well, it's a little complicated because I was in Houston when that happened. They needed a quarterback, but they also thought that Will Anderson was the best player, so they were split in the building what they should do. So their solution was let's get both of them. So they traded a lot of capital to move up and get both
Right.
the pass rusher and obviously the quarterback.
Right. But I'm saying, so like this kid Caleb Downs that plays at Ohio State, he's a defensive back. Why he might be one of the top players in the draft, if not the best player, a lot of people are saying. So why not, I'm just saying for instance, I'm not saying draft this guy, but like let's say they wanted to go edge rusher with Ruben Bain or that kid Arvell Reese from Ohio State, and then they went quarterback later on, and then after that second, third, fourth round, they continue to build out the rest of the roster instead of just going quarterback first and then trying to go from there. You know what I'm saying?
Well, it's possible because they have the extra first round pick to use to get up there, and then they have their one next year. They could trade away with that plus their one this year and a 2 this year. They really wanted to go from. We got to see where the Colts pick is, though, right? If you remember, Houston had the Browns pick. I think it was in the top 15 that year that they moved up to come up and take Will Anderson, right? I think they moved from 13 to 3. They made the deal with the Cardinals. If I remember, I was doing radio when it happened live. It was crazy. So like the Colts pick is not going to be 13. It's going to cost more. Like the Colts pick could be, I don't think right now it's 32. Do I think the Colts are going to win the Super Bowl? No, but I think it's going to be in the late 20s. So it just depends how much you love the player. Like, do you believe in one of these quarterbacks so much where you feel like you need to have them and then you still want to get one of these premium players because maybe you don't think it's a great draft and you want something to be, you want to get like a premium impact player for your defense this year, or it's a receiver. I don't know. I think it depends on how the board plays.
Yeah, I agree with that. I just think that taking a quarterback in the top 3 for the quarterbacks that, like that one guy that said earlier, like some of these guys might go back to school. So if you're not really, I'm not a real believer in Mendoza. I'm not. I think he's good, but I don't think he's as good as what people are saying. I just don't see it with the guy. But, if the Jets like him, I wouldn't be comfortable with them taking him at 3. I'd rather them take like an edge rusher or a receiver or a defensive back, you know what I mean? And then go quarterback later on in the first round. Whether if you have to trade up, you have to trade up. But like you said, we need a quarterback in this draft, though. I don't want to wait till next year to draft a quarterback. It just doesn't make sense. And you guys were talking about like the whole Joe Burrow thing. I don't think it would be smart to trade I think you said 3 first-round picks for Joe Burrow at a minimum. I don't think it would be smart to do that either, even though he would obviously be an immediate upgrade for this team.
You think?
And and put us in a way better spot. But this team lacks talent and players. So we need the draft catapult to
It lacks
continue.
a quarterback above everything else. You have the O-line and a number one receiver, a tight end in place. We'll see what they do with Brees, but you have potentially a running back, more than one. Like,
Right.
the argument for it is, say it is 3-1s, right? I don't think it's going to happen. I don't think the Bengals are trading him. I don't think Joe's going to ask out. And I think if he did ask out, he might not want to come to the Jets, right? Like, let's be honest. But in this hypothetical scenario where it's possible, if it's 3-1s, right? You trade away your first this year so the Bengals can get their quarterback. That's what would need to happen. Then you would also trade away 2 of your 3-1s next year. So I still have a 1 this year and a 1 next year. And I have a franchise quarterback and cap space to surround that quarterback with better players. That's the argument. Do I think any of this happens? No. But when you have 5-1s over 2 years, these are the type of conversations you could at least entertain.
I agree, but the Jets. Let's say the Jets draft Ty Simpson or Mendoza late first round or mid first round, right? And they take an edge rusher or a receiver in the top 3, right? And then the following year, Arch Manning comes out, and he shows significant improvement. Would you rather have the young guy in Arch Manning or Dante Moore or Joe Burrow? Even though Joe Burrow is more proven, but I would just rather build to the draft and take guys that we have complete control over and do it that way. Because that's what these smart teams are doing. The Lions, the Texans, the Panthers had a lot of high picks that are.
Well, I mean, the Jets tried to do it, Jordan. They tried to do. They drafted Zach Wilson. So, like, we could say, yeah, we all want our own guy. That's the best way to do it because then you get the quarterback on a rookie deal. Doesn't always work out that way. You could draft a huge bust. Like, Joe Burrow's a Hall of Fame quarterback.
Yeah, but they fell in love with Zach because he threw it 80 yards.
It's easy to say that. They fell in love with Zach because they thought he was the best player available. And it wasn't just the pro day throw. That maybe put it over the top, meeting him in person at the pro day. But that's not why they took him, because of one throw with shorts on. They looked at the whole body of work. They thought he was a franchise QB.
Yeah. I mean, I just never seen it in Zach. But like, you also got to understand, like, some of these GMs and scouts aren't looking at the level of competition that these guys are playing at.
Well, that's part of it. They should have paid closer attention to that in the case of Wilson.
Right. Exactly. That's exactly why I said that. But yeah, that was my take for the day. And I do think the Jets are going to win, but I think it's going to be struggle bus all day. But somehow, some way, I think they're going to win.
Hey, you never know. Until then, enjoy mock draft season, everyone, because Jordan's asking all these scenarios that we normally wait till February, March, and April. We're doing it on November 7th. That's where we're at. It's a shame, but that's where we're at. Austrian Jet fan in the raffle for 1. Austrian Jet fan, your signed Jermaine Johnson jersey is already on the way to Austria. And guess what? You got a chance to win another one. Although, we'll talk if you win. I don't know if you want 2 of the same player. But hey, maybe you do. I don't know. Uno Jet says, put me in. I got you in, Uno. You're in for 2. Big fella's in for 5. Says, put me in the raffle. Fought M. Nash, call in B word. Let's hear your thoughts on the Jets. I don't know who this Fought M. Nash guy is, but if Big Fella doesn't like him, I don't like him either. Period. All right, who's ready for the Wheel of Champions? I'm ready. You're ready. We're all ready, baby. It's time.
It's time to announce the winners of the weekly Asmaniac raffle. Let's spin the Jake Asman Show Wheel of Champions and find out which Asmaniac is winning an epic prize.
Oh, baby. Good luck to everyone. If you win, you have to email me your name and address so we know where to send the JJ jersey to. If you don't win, you're still automatically entered in our weekly raffle, so maybe you win one of our 3 prizes this upcoming week. Again, good luck to all. But only one person can win, and right now we find out who that listener is. That listener is Mike D's nuts. Congratulations, Mike. Hit it.
These nuts.
Mike, you're the winner. Congrats to Mike D's Nuts. Black Gypsy, nice try. You were too late, baby. But Black Gypsy, I will put you in the weekly raffle because you gifted one. So job well done. B. Ramos, you received a membership there from the great Black Gypsy. All right, we're back this afternoon. We'll be joined by Nick Ferry and his weekly spot. Ariel Nash for the Bites and Breakdown segment will be with us as well. Bobby Midnight will certainly make inappropriate remarks to his nurses in the hospital, so we'll hear about that, I'm sure, and a whole lot more. Until then, I leave you guys with a short clip that I think you'll enjoy. I also want to say thanks again to everyone who tunes into the show day in, day out, because without you, it wouldn't be possible to talk about a team that's been the worst team in football and has the longest playoff drought in football. So I love all you guys for that one. All right. Jets, Jets. We'll talk to you guys soon. Sit back and enjoy something we call around here greatness personified.
All right, let's go back to Bob in Vermont.
I wanted to ask you, what do you think the Jets and Giants will do on the draft, your choices? And also, do you ever hear of a player from college called Kanobu?
Kanobu? From what school?
College.
Yeah, but what college?
It's just college. Do you ever hear that guy's name?
No, I've never heard of Kanobu from college. Kanobo from college? What position does he play?
He plays offense and defense.
He plays offense and defense? He's a two-way guy?
Yep, that's what he said.
How do you spell the last name?
Kanobo. I can't remember how you spell it. It starts with K, I know that.
Okay, because I'm spelling it wrong on Google.
No, Kanobo.
Thanks for the call, Bob. I do not know who Kanobo is. Maybe somebody listening knows of a player, a two-way player coming out of college that gives you like 300 options. Look at that zoo. He's just laughing. I'm trying to find out. A two-way player plays offense and defense? Kanobo is coming.
There were two listeners of mine who called WFAN asking two separate hosts if the Jets should take Kanobo, and each host was like, they were stumped. They're like, I haven't done enough draft prep. I'm unaware. And they're reciting lines from the show.
John and Seaford, what's up, bud?
A lot of these Jets fans out there want Brock Bowers.
Yes, that is the sexy name surrounding the Jets.
I think the three options you go, O-line, receiver, or if Kanoble out of college is there, you got to take Kanoble. 5'7", 198, plays both sides of the ball. Not sure if you know him. Mel Kiper had him top 15 pick. What are your thoughts on Kanoble?
I don't know him that well. I'll be totally honest with you. Bro, I got to do more draft prep. You said he plays both sides of the ball. Makes me think, who plays both sides of the ball in the NFL?
Bobby, good morning. How are you?
First, the Jets, okay? I wanted to see what you think about the Jets draft choice, and I got a choice that you might wanted to hear from. Like Kanoble from college, he's supposed to be good. He plays both ways. He's from college. Do you ever hear of the guy?
Bob, you know what? I got to be honest with you, and I thank you for the phone call. There's a lot of guys who play in college. I'm not familiar with that name that you threw out there, to be quite honest with you. You guys know who he was talking about? Because it totally escaped my mind. The two-way prospect playing Ironman football, which, like I said, not too familiar with there.
It went on so much further than I ever thought could be possible. It's some of the best shit I've ever seen.
Plenty on the table. Up to Vermont we go. It's Bob. It's the fan. What's going on, Bobby?
Hey, Moose. I heard about this player called Kanoble from college. Do you ever hear Kanoble from college?
No. Who's that?
His name is Kanoble. He plays both ways from college.
No, I don't know who you're talking about.
You never heard of Kanoble?
No. And Bob, thanks a lot for the call. It's been forever.
Oh, hi. Jake wants me to ask you to click on the like button.
That's right, Lane. And if they don't subscribe to the Jake Asman Show, this team may never win another game. Let's go, Jets.